Witam tutaj wszystkich obecnych mieszkańców Zygwynt, mieszkańców Lokarno na dzisiejszej defiladzie i przemówieniu naszego prezydenta Joe Bidena z Stanów Zjednoczonych, prezydenta Stanów Zjednoczonych.
Brawo! Brawo!
Będzie teraz przemawiał.
Yes.
Well, I just come from a visit to Kyiv, and I can report Kyiv stands strong. Kyiv stands proud. It stands tall. And most important, it stands free. He thought he'd get the Finlandization of NATO. Instead, he got the NATOization of Finland and Sweden. He thought NATO would fracture and divide. Instead, NATO is more united and more unified than ever before. Appetites of the autocrat cannot be appeased. They must be opposed. Autocrats only understand one word: no, no, no. No, you will not take my country. No, you will not take my freedom. No, you will not take my future. And I'll repeat tonight what I said last year in the same place. A dictator bent on rebuilding an empire will never be able to ease the people's love of liberty. Brutality will never grind down the will of the free. And Ukraine will never be a victory for Russia. Never.
Ooh.
They've committed depravities, crimes against humanity, without shame or compunction. They've targeted civilians with death and destruction, used rape as a weapon of war, stolen Ukrainian children in an attempt to steal Ukraine's future, bombed train stations, maternity hospitals, schools, and orphanages. No one can turn away their eyes from the atrocities Russia is committing against the Ukrainian people. It's abhorrent. It's abhorrent. So tonight, I speak once more to the people of Russia. The United States and the nations of Europe do not seek to control or destroy Russia. The West was not plotting to attack Russia, as Putin said today. And millions of Russian citizens who only want to live in peace with their neighbors are not the enemy. This war is never a necessity. It's a tragedy. Poland is hosting more than 1.5 million refugees from this war. God bless you. Poland's generosity, your willingness to open your hearts and your homes is extraordinary. And the American people are united in our resolve as well. All across my country, in big cities and small towns, Ukrainian flags fly from American homes. Over the past year, Democrats and Republicans in our United States Congress have come together to stand for freedom. That's who Americans are, and that's what Americans do. Russia is paying the price for its abuses. We continue to maintain the largest sanction regime ever imposed in any country in history. And we're going to announce more sanctions this week together with our partners. We'll hold accountable those who are responsible for this war, and we'll seek justice for the war crimes and crimes against humanity continuing to be committed by the Russians. Next year, I will host every member of NATO for our 2024 summit in the United States. Together, we'll celebrate the 75th anniversary of the strongest defensive alliance in the history of the world, NATO. And let there be no doubt, the commitment of the United States to our NATO alliance and Article 5 is rock solid. And every member of NATO knows it, and Russia knows it as well. An attack against one is an attack against all. It's a sacred oath. Sacred oath to defend every inch of NATO territory. The decisions we make over the next 5 years or so are going to determine and shape our lives for decades to come. That's true for Americans. That's true for the people of the world. And while decisions are ours to make now, the principles and the stakes are eternal. The choice between chaos and stability, between building and destroying, between hope and fear, between democracy that lifts up the human spirit and the brutal hand of the dictator who crushes it, between nothing less than limitation and possibilities, the kind of possibilities that come when people who live not in captivity but in freedom. 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 There is no sweeter word than freedom.
Dziękuję bardzo za przemówienie Joe Bidena i zapraszam teraz na defiladę wojskową i na śpiewanie pieśni patriotycznych.
maszerują, zaciągnę się. Ułani będą, serce maszerują, zaciągnę się. Dadzą mi buciki z ostrogami, dadzą mi buciki z ostrogami, i siwy kawacik z wymogami, i siwy kawacik z wymogami. Dadzą mi konika cisawego, dadzą mi konika cisawego, i ostrą szabelkę do boku mego, i ostrą szabelkę do boku mego. Dadzą mi manierkę z gorzałczyną, dadzą mi manierkę z gorzałczyną, ażeby mnie tęsknił za dziewczyną, ażeby mnie tęsknił za dziewczyną. Powiodą z okopów na bagnety, powiodą z okopów na bagnety. Bagnet mnie uchuje, śmierć mnie